Has the bear market started for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market as a whole? This is one question which is coming across everyone's mind who is tracking the market of late. In this video, we are gonna reveal one of the top patterns which reflect that Bitcoin could actually head down straight to $30,000. So what exactly is that pattern and how we are following that pattern to the T? Also, in this video, we are going to tell you about the short-term price targets for Bitcoin as well. So stay tuned to this video and find out more details about the 3 peaks and domed house pattern.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this.
Hello friends, my name is Soham and I welcome you to Crypto Bulls Club. Every day on this channel, I show you how you can make money in crypto. If you like money in crypto, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. This is important so that you get notified with all the videos that we release. Also, if you would like to discuss anything related to Bitcoin, head over to Telegram and join our family. The link for that is given in the descriptions below, and this is completely free of cost. We also have a premium channel for which you can reach out to me on my Telegram. Without further delay, let's jump on straight to the 3 peaks and domed house pattern that is getting played out on the Bitcoin chart currently. Now, this image that you see on the right hand side of your screen is a textbook image of the 3 peaks and the domed house pattern. Now, this pattern was discovered by George Lindsay before 1971, and we see a mirror reflection of this pattern getting played out on the Bitcoin chart ever since the beginning of 2021. So let's dive deep into this pattern. What this pattern actually tells us is that there would be a 3 peak that would appear, and then there would be a severe correction. Then there would be smaller peaks followed by another peak which would actually reflect a head and shoulder pattern, and then finally it would dive deep into the lows of 10, 12 and 14. So in case of Bitcoin, these were the days when Bitcoin was around the $30,000 mark during May through July. So let's jump on to the peaks and understand how this is actually a textbook 3 peaks and domed house pattern. Now, our first intention is to look for the 3 peaks rising from the base at point 1 and 2 in a sharp price uptrend. So here is the base for price 1 and price 2. Then we got a sharp increase in the price, which again formed 3 peaks right here. Number 3, which was formed back in about March, again late in March, which was peak 5, and then all-time high, which was about $64,000, which was formed in April of 2021. Then we see a small pullback straight to 0.8, as you can see right here, and a sudden rise. This could be reflected as a dead cat bounce as well, which may act as a bull trap for investors. We saw a sudden rise here as well, like how we see here. After this, we saw a decline in the prices, which came straight to points 10, 12 and 14, which we had formed during the months of May till July, when Bitcoin was actually testing the $30,000 mark. Let's understand point 8, 9 and 10 first. A severe drop begins, taking price down to point 10 in 2 different waves. As you can see, this was the first wave, then there was this dead cat bounce, and finally this wave which took the price all the way to point 10. This forms what's called a separating decline. So this is called a separating decline right here, which separates the 3 peaks pattern from the remainder of the formation. So this is the 3 peaks which have been formed right here, and this is actually separating this peak from the later one, which we would discuss at the later part of this video. Now, point 10 is always lower than point 4 or 6, but often it is lower than both of them. Here is point 4, which occurred back in March, and point 6, which occurred again in early April or in late March, and point 10 is always lower than both point 4 and point 6. Now, after this separation formation has been formed, this wave from wave 9 till wave 10th is called the separation formation. Once this is done, then you need to look for a domed house pattern. Now, let's analyze the patterns from 10 to 14. Now in Bitcoin, this was the time period from May till July. Prices forms a base leading to the dome. This is the dome that we are talking about, okay? From point 10 to point 14. Price must rise from the low at 10. So this was the price at 10, it got a rise. As you can see from the image, it rose to 0.11. Right here, it rose to 0.11 in mid of June. After rising to 0.11, there must be two separate lows again. Here we can see 0.12 and 0.14. As you can see right here, prices rose from 0.10 to 0.11 and then again formed two separate lows, 0.12 and 0.14. Here we can see those two separate lows in early July and late July as well. Then what happens is prices rise to the peak at a 15 in a swift advance, forming the wall of the first story. Again, this is the first story that is getting formed. This is the wall. Again, this was a separation. This is again the formation part that we are looking at. So 0.15, as you can see right here, 0.15 was a swift rise. So we rose from the lows of $30,000 straight to about the $40,000 mark. Then what happens is 0.15 to 0.20. Do we see over here 0.15 to 0.20? 0.15 to 0.20 is the roof of the first story. As you can see, this was the wall of the first story building. This is the roof. For example, the prices went from $40,000 straight to about $42,000. We got rejected multiple number of times at the $42,000 mark. Again, we came down to the lows of about $36,000, and this point from 0.15 to 0.20 is the roof of the first story building that we are trying to form over here. So as you can see in the image itself, 0.15 to 0.20 right here, this is the roof of the story. Now this roof is composed of 5 reversals, beginning with the first one at 16 and ending at 20. So the waves from 16 to 20 are the reversal waves. As you can see right here in this image as well, the waves from 0.16 to 0.20 are the reversal waves and generally moves sideways. There would be multiple rises to the top and again correction, but in general, if you can consider the points from 0.15 to 0.20, these are more or less sideways movement. Then from 0.21 to 25, there's a 0.21 to 25 right here. Price moves in a choppy manner, forming a dome or a roof in the second story. So this is the second story building. From 20 to 21 is the second story that is getting formed right here. And from 21 to 25 is again forming the roof. That is a more or less a sideways movement, like how we saw from the 0.15 to 0.20. Similar to that, we are seeing 0.21 to 25 as sideways movement, or you can even see or feel that as an head and shoulders pattern. After peaking at 25, price tumbles to 26. Now this is important. 25 is where the price is peaking, and then we are getting a pullback. Now in regards to the Bitcoin price, this is the recent pullback that we saw till $42,000. This is attributed as 0.26. Now on the image we can see it clearly that after making the highs of 0.25, the price actually dumped to 26. Here on the Bitcoin chart as well, we can see that the price actually topped out at 25. Then we saw a pullback to the $42,000 mark, which marked our 0.26. Now till 0.26 we have already played out on the Bitcoin chart. Now here comes the interpretation and the prediction as to what we can expect, that is from 0.26 to 0.27 and finally to 0.28. Now through 0.25 to 27, the price will actually retrace up to 0.27. 0.27 is coming to about the $51,000 mark. Now keep this figure in mind because this is extremely important. That number 51,000 or 52,000 is very critical, not only from this pattern but also for another pattern which we are going to discuss later in the video. After peaking out at 0.27, then the price will again retrace straight down to 28, which is near 0.10. The bottom of the market would be 0.28, which would be similar to 0.10, which was around the $31,000 mark or the $30,000 mark. So what we can expect from the Bitcoin price looking at this particular chart, it is important to understand that. So what we are expecting is that Bitcoin from the current prices of about $49,000 can go up till the highs of $51,000, and from there we can see a sharp rejection straight to the lows of about $30,000. This is what this particular pattern is telling us. Till now, Bitcoin has been following this pattern right to the T. Every move that you see on the image right here is actually highlighted here on the particular graph as well. So you can see that for yourself. And Is this something that I am expecting to happen? Well, I expect the Bitcoin price to actually sustain around the $42,000 mark. If we break $42,000 mark, it would be a strong resistance for us. Remember that. And if we are breaking $42,000 mark, I am a believer that we may soon go to the lows of $30,000, and that is when an exit strategy would be required. If you want to know about my exit strategy for Bitcoin, go to the comment section and comment exit strategy. Okay, just comment exit strategy and I'll make a video on my exit strategy so that you can refer it as well. Now, moving on from this particular pattern, let's see what the Bitcoin price is telling us currently and what are some of the patterns that we need to keep a closer eye on. So let's move on to the present day chart. Now, this is the weekly chart that we are seeing right here, and we have a few lines drawn here as well. What are these lines and what do they indicate? I'll explain to you each and every line that we have drawn on the chart, and these are very significant. Right now, what we can see over here is that this yellow line that we have drawn was acting as a line of support right from July. Okay, that is when Bitcoin started rising. From July, we were holding this line of support. We were forming continuous falling wedges or symmetric triangles, and we were breaking to the upside. But this time, we formed a falling wedge pattern on the weekly, and we actually broke it to the downside. And what happened was we broke this line of support and we fell even to the lows of $42,000, which we haven't seen since the weeks of September 20th. Now, this is very important. If we go to the 4-hourly chart, what we can see here is a short-term price actions and what we can understand from that. Now, here it is important to understand that this falling wedge that we were forming earlier, right? This was the falling wedge which we were forming earlier. If we draw and extend this line of the wedge, this is acting as a resistance to the current Bitcoin price. Okay, as we can see, we tried breaking our wedge multiple number of times, but we fell through and we were not able to hold it. Now, what does this particular line signify? Now, when we were actually trying to break over this resistance, we had formed a head and shoulders pattern. Now, if we go to the line chart, this becomes more and more clear. This is the left shoulder, this is the head, this is our right shoulder, and our price target for this was about 46,900 and Bitcoin went all the way to 46,800. So our premium members booked profit on that particular Bitcoin short trade. That's why it's important for you to join our premium channel, and if you want to join it, reach out to me on my Telegram channel right now. What happened after that is that we fell and we reached our price target, and Bitcoin has been trying to move away from this pattern. Right now, there was a line of resistance right here. This was acting as a line of resistance since 7th of December. We tried breaking above it multiple number of times. As you can see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and on the 11th candle, that is on 11th of December, we were able to break above this line of resistance, which is a good sign. Now, what will be the next level of resistance? This line, if we extend this here, this will act as a line of resistance which is coming at about the $51,000 mark, which is extremely crucial for me and for the Bitcoin price. Why this is crucial? As we saw back in the 3 peaks and domed house pattern, that this would be important. So 51,000 is important from 3 aspects. Number 1, the 3 peaks and domed house pattern. Number 2 is the resistance right here, and also if we go to the weekly time frame, you will be able to see we are actually having our 20-week moving average right at around the $51,000 or $52,000 mark, which is extremely crucial. Now, on the $52,000 mark, what we can see is we have broken below it and we got rejected. This is not a good sign for the Bitcoin price. Okay, let me be very clear. And this candle that we are printing on the weekly, this reflects a continuous pattern. What is the pattern that we are following for the past few weeks? It's a downward trading pattern. Okay, so we can expect that the Bitcoin price could actually head down to the lows of about $42,000, which would be a critical level of support. Also, what could happen is if we break $42,000, we may head over to $30,000 as well. Also, one more important pattern which I am seeing that is getting printed currently, which is not confirmed yet, is a head and shoulders. As you can see, this is the shoulder, This is the head. If we get a bounce from here, it could be a head and shoulders pattern, and the target for this is coming straight to about $30,000. So it is extremely important for the Bitcoin price to go above the 20-week simple moving average. Okay, now on the RSI, we have something to share as well. For that, we'll go to the daily chart, and let me get the RSI right here. And it is actually playing out a very critical pattern which we saw earlier as well. What is that pattern? We can see a line of resistance right here, okay, which we saw back from July. Again, a similar line of resistance is getting played out here as well. What does this signify? As you can see right here, line acted as a resistance back in July through till September. Then finally we broke out of it and Bitcoin made new all-time highs. Similar to that, we are facing resistance on the RSI here as well. Okay, if we are not able to break above this line, then we can see further movements to the downside. But what is important and what is good from the Bitcoin side of things is that we have formed a double bottom pattern or a W pattern on the RSI, which is a good thing. Now for the Bitcoin price to move above $51,000, we need the RSI on the daily time frame to break this resistance, which is coming on currently at about the 43 mark. The RSI currently is at 35, and it is important for us to break above the 43 mark on the RSI as well. Now apart from this, there is one particular chart which we need to see, and that is the 2-week chart. Okay, so let's go to the 2 weeks chart here, and let's pull out the stochastic RSI, which is again very important. On the stochastic RSI, what we can see here is that we have a cross of the blue line below the red line. Now it is important for us to note that whenever this happens, we see a plunge in the prices. As you can see right here, the blue line crossed below the red line back in August of 2019, and we saw the prices of Bitcoin come from the highs of $11,000 to the low of $3,800. Now what is important, and one pattern which we can see, which is a bit of encouragement for us right now, is that every time the blue line has crossed below the red line, we have kind of formed an M pattern. Now for us to form an M pattern here, there needs to be a rise in the Bitcoin prices, and if that happens, my friends, if that happens, Bitcoin can see a new all-time high and could be a good exit point for your Bitcoin positions. Now for me personally, I will look at booking some profits, and it's not a financial advice, but I would think that you would also like to book some profits on your Bitcoins, right? So look out for this cross or this blue line on the 2 weekly chart. It is extremely crucial. Yes, price action is the king, but are we seeing the beginning of the bear market for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? What do you feel? Go down to the comment section below and comment. If you feel the bear market is arriving, just comment bear. If you feel we are not yet there, just comment bull. Okay, so if you like the content, please smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon, and do not forget to join our Telegram channel, because it is extremely crucial for you to join our Telegram channel, because that is where we keep you up to date from all the real-time happenings. The video might take some time to be released, but on our Telegram channel and on our Twitter as well, we keep you all the time up to date. So make sure you join both of those places. The links to both of these platforms are given in the descriptions below. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. Stay blessed, stay happy, take very good care of yourself, and please trade very wisely. Thank you so much. Bye bye for now.